Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado.
Because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alicia.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Amy.
And welcome to episode 59 of Adventures and Mousecapades.
This week, we are covering several crucial topics on the podcast, namely, is a cereal considered soup? And is a hot dog a sandwich? These and other polarizing questions this week on the podcast.
Yeah, those are definitely polarizing questions, but we are not talking about that this week. Today, we are welcoming the world famous Amy Adams. We're welcoming Amy Adams, a bona fide planDisney panelist. Met her through a work forum all about Disney and saw that she had applied and gotten a position with the planDisney panel. And we wanted to talk with her and ask her a few questions.
So welcome, Amy.
Hi, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me here today. I'm thrilled to speak with you.
Yeah, could you give us kind of a little bit of a bio about Amy? We know you're not the Hollywood Amy, but we'll deal with that. It's okay. But
Yes,
would
yes.
you mind introducing us to you and your family and maybe a little bit about kind of your Disney history?
Absolutely, sure. So I grew up near Annapolis, Maryland, and now I live in Northern Virginia, outside of Washington, D.C., with my husband of 15 years and our 11-year-old son. I've had a career in project management of large-scale technology and engineering programs. So yes, this fall, I was selected as a 2023 planDisney panelist, specializing in the Walt Disney World Resort and a secondary specialty of Disney Cruise Line. This is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I'm really excited to speak with you about it.
Awesome.
As for my Disney history, well, I certainly grew up during the Disney animation renaissance, and I just adored every Disney movie. You know, I had them all on repeat. I played the music constantly during those critical years. My family visited the Walt Disney World Resort a few times growing up, and we even went on the Big Red Boat before it fully became Disney Cruise Line. We had a land and sea package for the 20th anniversary of Walt Disney World. I recently came across some of the paraphernalia from that trip, cleaning out my mom's house, and that was really fun to look through, especially this year with the 50th, right?
Yeah.
So I had a good friend in the college program, and we spent a few college spring breaks together at Walt Disney World. But I'd say the real enchantment really started when we started to visit as a family. We first took our son when he was 3 and just fell in love with the Disney parks experience, not only in seeing the joy in our son, but the total escape that a Disney vacation offers. My husband and I were proud of our careers, but they're pretty serious, kind of heavy stuff. We both deal with the hottest topics making headlines. So a truly immersive, positive escape has become our perfect vacation together. And now we visit the Walt Disney World often as a family. Last summer, we took our first trip out west to the Disneyland Resort, which was amazing, of course. We also adore cruising. We have 2 more Disney cruises planned the first half of this year, and we are Disney Vacation Club members. I've also enjoyed the parks as a Disney adult with girlfriend trips, solo visits, and a few Disney Institute courses and business conferences.
Awesome. So tell us kind of what are your bona fides? What's your most recent Disney trip?
Oh, my most recent. So we spent the week before Christmas at Walt Disney World. We visited all 4 parks and we enjoyed the special holiday celebrations there. We used our DVC membership to stay at Disney's Riviera Resort for the first time, which was absolutely beautiful.
I love the Riviera.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so relaxing and I love the location too.
Yeah.
We brought my mother-in-law with us, and it was her first time to the parks in 40 years, so that was really special.
Did she enjoy it?
She loved it. I mean, certainly everything was new, right? I think there was only
Right.
Magic Kingdom. So, yeah, it was really fantastic.
What's your home DVC resort?
We own at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa.
Very nice.
I love the Grand Floridian. We finally
Yeah.
stayed there for the first time this past summer. And it's such a beautiful resort.
Yeah, it's just so relaxing just being there. It's heavenly. And
Yes.
my favorite Disney transportation is the boat, so you can't beat that.
Right there. Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm going to jump right into what exactly is the planDisney panel?
Sure, thanks. So, planDisney is an official Disney site where guests get vacation planning advice from a diverse group of panelists like me, who are selected through a very competitive process to answer guest questions. We're a team of knowledgeable Disney guests, like you. We're not cast members, and we're super passionate about helping others make the most of those magical vacations. planDisney is an official program under Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products, and it's managed by cast members. We answer questions and share tips about the Walt Disney World Resort, Disneyland Resort, Disney Cruise Line, and Disney Vacation Club. The program started in 2008 as the Walt Disney World's Moms Panel with a total of 8 panelists. It then evolved into the Disney Parks Moms Panel, and finally, planDisney, a name which is really more representative of us, the panelists, and all of the guests who use the site. Now there's over 200 alumni panelists, and we just celebrated 15 years of the panel.
And there's dads on there now, too.
Absolutely, which again is why planDisney is a lot more inclusive and representative.
How many current panelists are there?
We have 55 panelists this year supporting our guest questions, and that group is made up of 25 of us in the class of 2023, and then 30 returning panelists.
So, why were you interested in joining the planDisney panel, and how many times did you apply?
Oh my gosh, how long do we have? So, I was listening back to your first podcast episode where you introduced yourself, and the reasons are really similar to why you started this podcast. I think when you're so passionate about something, you dig into the details and you want to constantly learn more and share that with others. It's upsetting if I hear someone went to Disney and the trip wasn't everything it could be. My family has had such incredible experiences on these vacations, and I want to help others have the same. I have a lot of empathy for first-time visitors or once-in-a-lifetime visitors. The planning can be overwhelming, and let's face it, there's a lot of pressure, right? Social media pressure or self-imposed pressure to have that perfect trip. But the elements of a Disney vacation, they just make sense to me. In my project management, crazy organized, technical mind, I love putting that together. So I want to help bring clarity to the process and help guests have fun. That's what it's all about, right?
Yes.
And I think if these last few years have taught us anything, it's that life can change in an instant. And those special vacation memories together are so, so precious.
Absolutely.
So being a part of planDisney gives me that platform to reach guests in a way I never could on my own. Now, I still help people in line at the grocery store, no doubt. But being able to share guidance with so many guests through this program has been a dream for a really long time.
How many times did you apply before you got your spot on the planDisney panel?
I have been applying for the panel since 2015, so 8 years.
8 years. Okay.
And what was that selection process like? What was kind of your experience? What are the hoops that the mouse makes you jump through?
Well, frankly, it's brutal. I mean, it is tough. It's very, very competitive. There are thousands and thousands of applicants, but it's also a lot of fun. I found a wonderful Disney fan community and made a lot of my closest friends through this application process over the years. Yes, I've been applying since 2015. It's an annual global search that opens each fall. There are 3 rounds over the course of 2 months to narrow down applicants to the final panelist selection. And through that, we have a written portion, a video, and then a final interview. So we pour our heart and soul into these applications. I mean, we're vulnerable, and receiving a no at any stage is really heartbreaking. When you love something like Disney so much, it's hard not to take it personally. I've shed more tears over this process the past 8 years than I care to admit, really. But I hope it can also inspire those who have felt the same. If you truly believe in the program and you believe in yourself, just keep swimming. I think perseverance and continuous learning or really digging into that passion are what ultimately got me here. We have classmates who applied for the first time and also long-term applicants. So I really want to reiterate that it can and does happen for the right people at the right time. Those odds can make it feel impossible, but you just have to keep trying.
Yeah.
The Disney admin team, they work really hard to put together a beautiful panel of varied lifestyles and life stages, and really builds a class that can work together for this tough job and to be brand ambassadors for our guests.
So is there any specific advice you'd give for somebody who's really looking to be on the panel?
Yes. I would say 2 things. Be yourself and be a fan of the program. So first, we say be yourself a lot in this process, I know, but it's not a cliche. They really are seeking unique individuals. And if you try to copy someone else's style, whether it's an influencer or a current panelist, you don't let your own personality shine. I've definitely fallen into that trap on applications over the years, but it's about finding your own Disney voice. And even now on the panel, we keep saying that to each other. Be yourself, because you were chosen for a reason, and you need to share what you bring to the table. Styling your answers after someone else, it's just not sustainable at any stage. And I think with that, you can look no further to our favorite Disney movies for those lessons, right? Bring your authentic self to the table, be proud of who you are.
And hopefully, your parents haven't been offed in the process.
That's right.
Oh, gosh.
That's right. Not that kind of plot. No,
Not that kind of plot. Okay, got it.
And my second piece of advice is to be a fan of planDisney. And I don't say that lightly or for self-promotion, but you need to know what you're getting into. It's a lot of work. And like any job application, you have to do your research. You have to know what the program is about. I say ask questions on the site, read our answers, follow us on Instagram, listen to the podcasts, and have that passion for the culture and the content of the program the same way you do for your Disney vacations. I mean, I had asked dozens and dozens of questions to the panel over the years. I think a common misconception is that if you're applying, you have to know everything, or that asking a question means you're not qualified to help others. But it really couldn't be farther from the truth. And I think it's super important to keep learning and get advice from the panel, even as an applicant.
How have you found the experience so far? How does Disney prepare you to answer questions? I think you kind of alluded to this earlier. You don't have to know everything. What's the training like? How does Disney prepare you for stuff?
Yeah, sure. Well, once selected, it is a whirlwind to prepare for this role, which begins in the new year. So I've used the word team a few times today, but it's really about bonding with your class. I mean, we rely on each other, and we're going to be relying on each other throughout this year ahead to do this really big job together. We are first treated to a required, once-in-a-lifetime training trip. This was the first year it was held at the Disneyland Resort, and we spent 5 incredible days together. There's some classroom time to understand the role expectations, certainly some technical training on the admin side of the site, and other guidelines and processes to support the program. Then, of course, there's time to experience things in the parks, like dining, attractions, and shows to keep building on that experience. Our class, we got a special surprise. We were honored with a field trip to Burbank, where we toured the Walt Disney Studios, the Disney Archives, and even Walt Disney's office, which was pretty incredible to have that elite experience.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and certainly being from the East Coast, I kept asking some of our California friends, wait, like, help me understand, can you buy a ticket to this stuff? Or, oh, no.
What was your favorite thing in Walt's office?
Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. I think I really love the details. They say it was set up so that Walt could come back in and know where the paper clips are, right? Like everything was exactly as it should be. Yeah. So I love seeing what books he had on his desk or, what was over here, what was over there, just what interests him. Because I think, if you were to walk into my office and see the things on my desk, you get a sense of the person. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool. And I think that day especially, it really brought home the weight of this company's 100-year history. They're celebrating that this year, of course,
Indeed.
With Disney 100. And we really felt grounded in everything that Walt Disney did to bring all of those dreams to reality and the positive impact it's had on so many people. I think our class proudly carries forward that legacy of that really important day, and none of us will ever forget it, that's for sure. So far, I'd say, as a longtime applicant, I really had a sense of what to expect, but it has truly exceeded all of my expectations, and it's already such a dream come true. We're only 1 month into our role, but I love it. I mean, I learn something new every day, whether it's from my classmates or in researching an answer for a guest. I love using my unique voice and perspective to offer guidance and advice to people who reach out to us. And, we've had a really crazy start to the calendar year here at work. And so having this outlet and a chance to pivot to my happy place, talk Disney throughout the week, that has really been a gift.
And there's been a lot going on in the world of Disney, too, that I'm sure lots of people have lots of questions on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We were joking as we were setting this up that we were going to have to, ply you to figure out when Tron was going to open, but that's already been announced. So I guess that's off the table.
Right. Yeah. And hey, since we're all very technical, we all see that April 4th, 404, that's an error, right? So we'll see. I hope it goes well.
I do too.
Yes, we're going to be there about a week before. So we're fingers crossed that they'll do either a soft open or a DVC preview or something. We'll see.
We have a tendency to miss things by a day or a week. Like Woody's Roundup Rodeo Barbecue is opening the day after we are at Hollywood Studios.
Right.
That looks really fun too. Yeah. All about the same time. End of March, beginning of April.
Yep.
Oh, well, I hope you do it. And if not, Tron's not going anywhere. So you'll get on it eventually.
And we will definitely be back. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What is your time commitment like per week?
Well, the expectation when you apply is to answer 15 to 20 questions a week. And the time varies really per question and per panelist. We each have our own working rhythm, and some questions just require more research or take more time. I think it's slowly getting more efficient, but for me, each question takes about 45 minutes. Some are longer. The whole thing is really like taking on a part-time job. Things like Instagram content or this fun podcast are considered above and beyond. So if you were ever interested in that, you need to make time for those things too.
Is the commitment just for a single year, or are you able to do longer terms?
So we're committed to 1 year enroll, but then we're considered planDisney alumni. So each year, the full panel is made up of the new class plus some active alumni, as I mentioned earlier. But once a panelist, you're always welcome to express interest in returning if you meet the eligibility requirements. And then some are selected as they put the puzzle together for a diverse panel in any given year.
Got it. So you express interest that you want to do it again in the next year, and then it's up to Disney cast members on how they want to put the pieces together between new folks and returning.
Exactly. Yep.
Got it.
Nice.
Okay. That makes sense.
So what happens if you have vacations or extended vacations and you're out for a little bit longer of time? Are you able to not answer for a week, or how does that work basically?
We are given the grace of a little bit of time off throughout the year, but we just have to work that with our team.
Got it.
But for example, I'm taking a cruise coming up in April, and it's only a 5-night cruise. Only. It's a fabulous 5-night cruise. So for me, I know that I can manage that week and I'll be able to answer my questions. I didn't want to use it up so early in the year, with any time off. So frankly, we all love to do this. So yes, we need our vacation time. We need that time away, but it's a balance, as with all things.
Okay.
But the Adventures by Disney, like round the world to every park and everything over a month, is probably a little bit too much to ask.
Probably. You're going to have to check the Wi-Fi. Yeah.
What are some of the most frequently asked questions that the panel gets?
Well, it can certainly vary with seasonality or what's hot, right? Like you said, new things are coming all the time, but we do have some themes. So Walt Disney World Resort has a lot of questions around the technical details of my Disney experience. Lots of how do I link friends and family, or how do I link my tickets, or can I add another day to my ticket? Disney Genie service. Disneyland has a lot of ticket questions, and most recently, Magic Key. Disney Cruise Line gets a lot of when is Pirate Night and other really specific itinerary or travel logistics questions. I answered a handful of prohibited items, so I know all about those now. And DVC gets a lot of member benefits clarification or resort-specific details. I'd say across all of these, guests are also really curious about the specific coffee makers in the rooms, or wanting to buy the same mattress or pillows from a resort or cruise ship because they just had the best sleep of their life on a Disney vacation.
That's neat. Can you share some unique or unusual questions that you may have come across or that you may have heard about from your fellow panelists?
Yes, two come to mind for me. So first, a woman asked how far into the ocean the ship goes on an Alaskan cruise. She had never been on any boat before. I really sensed the hesitation in her question. She wanted to see land the whole time, she said. And I took a lot of time answering this one. I did some research. I spoke with a friendly crew member who gave me all sorts of details on the route. But I also just wanted to be really mindful of my words, my tone, right? I wanted to give her a virtual hug and reassure her that this adventure is going to be amazing. You're going to be safe. And so I went into the details of the Alaskan Inside Passage route, but I also offer her advice for, those really immersive spaces on board where she could spend time on a sea day and totally forget she was on a boat. And I feel like if she took the time to write us, trusting our advice with that vulnerability, I wanted to give her the response she deserved. So I really hope it made a difference for her. But that was a unique question to me.
That's neat.
And then this week, you guys will like this one, being in the business that we're in. They asked if they are allowed to pay a third party to access their My Disney Experience account and book Genie Plus for them. So, of course, in our world, I have security red flags in my mind.
Yeah.
But, frankly, I was also really angry. Like, there are people or companies out there taking advantage of Disney guests and, hey, pay me and I'll do this for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I swooped in. I had to help this person. So I took the time to review the details of Disney's terms and conditions. We had to have something specific to point them to. And I shared that third party would be in violation of that. I expressed that the additional expense of this service being offered is not necessary. There's resources, like planDisney, and videos online to help you understand Disney Genie service. My Disney Experience holds personal information, credit card information, so I also shared some guidance in keeping your account and your identity safe. So frankly, it's not a sexy or exciting topic, but I really appreciated this guest being brave and asking us. Clearly, they felt something was wrong in their gut, seeing this being advertised, and they trusted our advice. So I tried to lighten it up with an analogy of the evil queen offering Snow White a poison apple. But, it was really interesting. And again, just one that really spoke to me. I wanted to help them.
Yeah, I won't even give our daughter who's about to go off to college like what our Disney account password is for either Alicia or I. I'm just like, no, because then we can't spoil you potentially for surprising for vacations, because it's one Disney account that rules everything that you touch in the world of Disney. So
absolutely. And I have to say, I've linked to those terms and conditions a few times, and I feel like, one of my classmates calls it a pixie dust vacuum when we're being really serious and like, no. But this stuff is important, and we have this opportunity to educate and help our guests. So I'm all about it.
Yeah. Now, I know you've only been on the panel for about a month now, right? What is your favorite part so far about being on the planDisney panel?
Sure. Well, certainly a few things. I think those 2 question examples are already a really big part of it, feeling like I can make a difference in a guest experience. And many, many people read this website. Our answers are posted. So when I have helped with these 2 examples, many other people will read them, and I hope others see, oh, I shouldn't let others use my Disney Experience account, right? So whether it's protecting them from near identity fraud or just sharing fun tips for mobile order, I just love helping others reduce that stress or enhancing their vacations. It's really, really rewarding with each answer I submit, just to feel that I help someone, even a little bit, with part of something that ultimately becomes a really special memory, their own Disney experiences, right? And the other best part of being on planDisney is the people. From the incredible admin team who put us all together at this very special moment and supports us constantly, to the supportive and enthusiastic alumni who welcome us to the family right away, and of course, my very special classmates. Everyone in the class of 2023 is fantastic, and it's more than just this unique shared experience. These people are so smart, they have such passion and care for others, and I think instantly feeling so close, so connected to 24 people from across the world that I never would have known otherwise, that's really amazing. Our group, we talk every day, and I truly can't imagine my life without them now.
So let's cut to the chase. I know you got a fun trip. You got to see Walt's office. Do you get any other perks? I did see you had like a really nice water bottle there, and you've got a nice jacket on. Like, come on, dish the dirt. What do you get?
Well, yes, we did receive some welcome gifts at training. Absolutely. We had our amazing training trip, and we also receive a reward trip with our family as compensation for all of this work. But there's no ongoing perks otherwise. When I visit the parks or take a cruise, I'm a guest, just like you. Now, I might be measuring things or doing some crazy research in the field, but I promise no other special perks.
We've talked a bunch about how people may want to join the panel and kind of what it takes. But what about for folks who might not want to be on the panel, but who do want to leverage planDisney for their vacation planning? How can someone ask a question?
Sure. Well, you go to planDisney.com, and on the main homepage, you can search, you can browse our answers, and of course, you can submit a question. You'll receive an email notification of receipt and then another when it's been answered. You can ask a panelist directly by going to our biographies on the website that's under About the Panel, Meet the Panel. And if you read those bios, you might find a panelist you have something in common with or want to keep connecting with once they've answered you. And I'm Amy A. on there if you want to connect with me.
That's right. We have Amy Adams, Disney princess, on the podcast this week. Oh, just kidding.
We should have started with that.
I know, we should have.
She's still a Disney princess. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks.
It sounds like folks can search kind of like the knowledge-based style of everything that's been asked already. How many questions kind of are in that?
I think there's about 60,000 that are live right now. So it's an endless wiki is really is what you can think of it as. You know, there's so much. And I think I used to browse it a lot as well. Certainly I do now, but with a different perspective. But when you're just browsing the questions, you can filter by specialty. Say you're planning a cruise, filter on cruise. You're going to say, oh, I never thought of that. And it might prompt another question that you want to ask, or it just helps educate you on all the different nuances of these trips. You know, it's like being in a classroom. If someone else asks a good question, it reminds you of something, or, hey, I never thought of that, but I'm really interested in the answer.
Mm-hmm. And then is there a way to follow what's going on with the planDisney panel?
Absolutely. So we're so much more than just questions as the panel and the program has evolved over the years. So there's a lot of fun ways to connect. You can follow us on Instagram at planDisneyPanel. There's a lot of fun, snackable content there. And we also answer questions in a video Q&A each month. There's a planDisney podcast, which is both audio and video formats, that's released each month with some special episodes sprinkled in throughout the year. And definitely follow the official Disney Parks blog for featured content or articles by planDisney. Just yesterday, there was a series of great content shared for National Plan for Vacation Day. And there's planning checklists, our top tips for 23, and so much more.
That's awesome. Yeah, I remember being in Hollywood Studios this past summer and seeing a planDisney panel out in front of, where was it? Brown Derby, out in the kind of the lawn in front of Brown Derby doing a bunch of video stuff. So yeah, it was kind of neat to see all that going on.
Very cool. So that was the podcast on technology, something near and dear to my heart. And I linked to that one a lot in my answers. So that's a really good one.
Awesome. Amy, is there anything else you want to share about how planDisney works and how maybe how questions get answered or things like that?
Yeah, sure. So on our day-to-day, we work as a team through the question queue. And of course, we like to answer questions that we have specific experience about, but there's not always a question there for you on your favorite topic, right? So we lean in and we take the next one to be sure that our guests get a thorough answer quickly. Here, it is not about being a know-it-all, but rather a learn-it-all. We might not know the answer, but we know how to find it, verify it, and navigate things efficiently for a guest. So even if the question is on something I know a lot about or have deep personal experience with, we always double-check our facts. Research is a really big part of the role, and as you know, things change so quickly at Disney parks as new things or events are announced. We include links to official Disney sources, so we take the time to go through and make sure that I'm sending you the right link with the latest information and also educating you on how to find that information on your own. I spend a lot of time chatting with cast members on the chat feature on the websites, calling guest services, or even just talking with my fellow panelists. So we'll say, hey, who's in Magic Kingdom today? Can you check this? Just last week, a guest asked about what brand of hair products do they use at Bippity Boppity Boutique. Sure enough, there's enough of us that someone was on the ground in Magic Kingdom. So in she went and she got, the information fresh for us.
That's neat.
Or I'll ping others and ask about a particular cruise itinerary, maybe something I haven't experienced, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Does every question that gets asked get answered?
Well, certainly there's a sense of a moderation process. For example, if you were to submit a question about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, I'm sorry, we're not going to receive it. We can't help you with that, right?
Fair enough.
So there are certain things that are in scope and out of scope. But I would say as a whole, absolutely. I mean, we strive to help everyone and we really treat everyone with respect. No question is too silly or too small or too complex. I think a lot of the challenges, I can't have the back and forth with you. I can't see your screen. I can't, right? So it's really just getting into it and helping to the best we can and then offering, come back and see us if you need to continue this conversation.
And then how long on average does it take to get your question responded to? If I ask, I promise I won't ask about Harry Potter, but if I ask about how many outlets are in a room on the Disney Wish, how long would it take to get that answer back?
I would say within a day to a few days. We really strive to turn them around as quickly as we can. And, just like in Lilo and Stitch, no one's left behind.
Awesome.
So, Amy, what is your closing pitch on why somebody should reach out to planDisney?
Well, I feel like coming to planDisney is like just talking to a friend who loves Disney. Between all of us, we've been there, done that, and we share our authentic advice to help you reduce stress and have a more magical vacation. We can help you understand any Disney detail or just where to have the best snack. Truly, no question is too small or too complicated, and it's super easy to submit a question. We are an official Disney resource, so you can trust the information we give you, but it's still our very personal point of view. I will say we've received some questions recently about some rumors that are out there about events that are not happening. And, we don't take that lightly. They trust us with that guidance because we are official Disney. And I would say our only incentive is to help you have a good time. I will never know if you took my advice or even if you took the trip, but we pour ourselves into these answers for you, hoping to help however we can.
Well, Amy, I want to ask some of your favorites. I have a list here. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Who is your favorite character?
Well, I love Mickey Mouse. Certainly he's the authentic original. He's an icon. I love that just those 3 circles. He's so recognized all over the world. He makes you smile. And Mickey can be anything. We have Pirate Mickey. We have Vampire Mickey, right? So I just love Mickey. He makes me smile.
Awesome. What is your favorite Disney movie? Now, this can be Disney, Star Wars, Pixar, Marvel. What is your favorite movie?
Yeah. Impossible. I think 2 of my favorites will go old school and new school. I love Bedknobs and Broomsticks. It is just a classic to me. Awesome. And again, those things that are those core memories from your youth, I love it. When we went to the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank, they had a display. I think it was for the 50th anniversary of Bedknobs and Broomsticks. And the original I Love Naboombu book was sitting there. And that was really special to me. It spoke to me.
That's
and
amazing.
Newer films, yes, we're big Star Wars and Marvel fans. I think it's hard to pick one out of any of those, but I love Frozen 2. Mm-hmm. I really like the adult themes that they handle beautifully for children. There's really some heavy stuff in that film, but the music is so stunning, and I love, again, how it can help teach our little ones about these real life things, and it's just a gorgeous film. I love it.
Yeah. What about your favorite ride?
Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. I love that one. I certainly love my thrills, but I also need to feel safe to truly enjoy things, you know? My family makes fun of me because I want a shoulder harness on Soarin'. Like I feel unsafe.
Yes.
And of course it's super safe, but it's a mental thing. I wish I had a shoulder harness on something as simple as Soarin'. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, the way the lap bar goes in and it's so smooth. The first time I rode it, I had my hands up. I felt safe, which meant I could let go and scream and sing. And of course, it's just such a unique ride. So I love that one.
What was the song you got on your first ride?
I think the very first one was Disco Inferno.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. You may not like this one. Disney World or Disneyland?
Well, they're all fantastic, of course. I have to say, Walt Disney World Resort. I mean, that's my, quote, home resort now. And certainly that's my specialty. Now, I was fortunate to visit Disneyland as a family in August and then on our training trip. And of course, it is so, so special. And I loved seeing the original parks and really the fun of comparing attractions that are in both, right? But the experiences are just so different. I really feel I can hold them separately. But of course, it'll always be Walt Disney World for me.
Nice. Of all the parks that you have visited, what is your favorite?
Magic Kingdom Park. It's just the classic, right? I love it. And I feel I could just hang out on Main Street, USA. I don't need to ride a single attraction. I just love to see people having fun. I love the music and the style. If I was there all day, I'd sneak over to Adventureland. That's my second area where I love to hang out. But
And do you have a favorite hotel or resort?
this one is truly impossible. So, especially at Walt Disney World, for my family, it's really about what is the right resort for this situation, right? As my son was younger, we loved staying closer to Magic Kingdom because that proximity or coming back for a nap. We were in Magic Kingdom half the week, right? So that was key. And we certainly, I said we were members, owners at the Grand Floridian, so that's lovely. I'm sort of an island girl at heart, so I do love the Polynesian. But they're all fantastic. Wilderness Lodge, Contemporary in that area. And then I think as my son is getting older, or maybe we spend more time at Hollywood Studios and Epcot, I love Beach and Yacht Club. And certainly we had a wonderful time at Riviera. So I don't mean to be wishy-washy here, but there's definitely a resort for every situation. You know, we really love trying new ones on each trip as well.
We love staying at new resorts as well, especially if we're just getting like, we'll tack on a few days in a DVC resort before and after a cruise or something like that. And it's just like, well, where haven't we stayed? What can we do that's new and something that's different that we can experience? So yeah.
And it makes the whole trip feel different.
Yeah.
You know, when you have that home base with a different style or different food or transportation. Absolutely.
Exactly. Is there a DCL ship that holds a special place in your heart out of all of them?
I have not been on all of them yet, but I've been on a couple. And I will say that the Fantasy is my favorite. It was the one that we first went on as a family. So, of course, that always is ingrained in your mind and very special. And it's the only one we've been on twice so far. My family loves the Aqueduct, right? I mean, I have a young son, so that's, if we could do that all day, we would. And I really love the itineraries. I mean, if every cruise could be 7 nights or more, I would love that, but alas. So I really like the itineraries, both the length and where the Fantasy sails as well.
Nice.
Do you have a favorite sit-down dining option?
I really like Ohana. And I know that's kind of divisive these days, but I'm going to stick to it. Again, I could make a meal out of those peel and eat shrimp and the pot stickers and the wings and the noodles, you know, those tropical Asian flavors. That's my vibe. And you get a drink in a pineapple with a castle view. You really can't beat that. So I love Ohana if given a choice.
We've only been there for breakfast. I tried to make dinner reservations for this last one, but they were gone in a second. So
It's hard. Absolutely.
Dinner reservations for us are hard because it opens at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's dreadful.
it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah. So I will say they had a recent policy change where you can cancel your dining reservation 2 hours in advance. And the, word on the street is that's really helped with availability. So I always tell people never give up. And when you're in the parks, just keep checking.
Yep.
And some of our favorite meals have been, we're like Merida and just follow wherever the fates lead us. Like I'll just play in my Disney experience. What's open? What's new to us?
I feel like our upcoming trip here in the end of March and early April is probably the most meal planned trip we've ever done.
Yes.
Wow.
It's very much seat of our pants for some things, unless we're trying to get like Topolino's Terrace or something like that. Yeah.
Another favorite. Yeah.
Yes.
We had dinner there twice in the past year, and it's very, very special. Delicious.
Yes. It's delicious. What is your favorite Disney snack?
There are so many, of course. As we've said, I would say popcorn. And I know that's pretty basic, but there's just something about it, right? It's hot, fresh, salty.
Good stuff.
I just love it so much. And I will share something I learned at Disney Institute, which I think is always in my mind and makes me think popcorn's the best, was that Walt designed, well, at the time, Disneyland, to have those popcorn carts as soon as you enter. Because you have that smell, that sound, that taste of popcorn, it means the show is on. You're now part of the show. And so I think of that every time I walk into Magic Kingdom and those popcorn carts are right there. Like, hey, we're setting the stage. We are now part of the show. And so I think the popcorn kind of brings that all together for me.
Awesome.
And then I have a very critical question in terms of favorites.
Very critical.
What was it like acting across from Susan Sarandon and Patrick Dempsey in Enchanted?
It was hard. It was
She's
really
never heard this before, I'm sure, ever.
It wasn't acting. It wasn't acting. I know. Everyone's always disappointed. They're expecting the real Amy Adams, but alas.
We are not disappointed at all. This has been an amazing conversation.
Yes.
Thank you so much for everything that you shared with us today about planDisney. I know it's definitely brought planDisney higher up on my radar, and some of these questions that we always go and hunt and figure out the answers on our own. Maybe we should start throwing them to the panel and see what we can get back.
We'd love it. Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really appreciate having this opportunity and being able to share, what has really become such a special part of my life now. And it's an awesome program that I really believe in. So I'm excited to share more with your listeners.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Once again, a huge thank you to Amy for joining us to talk about planDisney today, and to Jen from the Disney side of the program for helping to make this happen.
Please remember that we are not affiliated with Disney and we are not travel agents. We do like to offer our opinions and suggestions, and we do recommend working with a travel agent to plan your vacation.
If you have questions or suggestions or would like to be interviewed on our show to share your Disney experience, please send an email to podcast@adventuresandmousecapades.com.
Follow us on socials at Our Mousecapades. And if you all could do us a favor and please rate and review us in your podcast app, that really helps people find us. It does some sort of magic algorithm-y thing.
It's the algorithm, yeah.
So your reviews and ratings really do help us out. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be in your ears next week.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thank you for flying Star Tours. Bye-bye.